it's HaruInKorea, and today I want to make a short video about how the coronavirus kind of ruined my plans for 2020. So I've been teaching at the same hagwon for, this is going to be my second year. So my second year technically started March 1st, but we didn't end up going back to school until April 13th. So this is my second year teaching at the same hagwon, and you know, I was really looking forward to 2020 because at first I was like, I didn't know if I wanted to sign with this school just because I was like, should I go home? Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle like teaching, you know, 2 years straight. Like I was like, I don't know if I can handle that. That seems very exhausting. So I was debating going home. Should I get a new job? Should I do this? Should I do that? And then eventually I was like, you know what? I really like the school. At first I wasn't much of a fan, but you know, you get used to everything. So I ended up liking the school. I very much liked my apartment. If you didn't see my apartment video, make sure to check it out. I'll have it in the description box down below. But yeah, so I really liked everything, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stay at this school. But in order for me to stay at this school, I was like, I got some requirements. So when it was contract time, I knew that I needed at least 7 working days, and so with weekends included, that would have ended up being like 11 or 12 days, something like that. So at least 7 working days to go back to America, because my sister was getting married in May. So I should be leaving on a flight to go home to America, you know, in about 2 or 3 weeks, because the flight was supposed to leave on May 9th, and then I wouldn't be back until the 16th or 17th. I don't remember the ticket dates, but sometime around there. So, you know, it took a lot of work to get my principal to agree with like these terms. She's like, I'll give you 5 working days. I was like, nah, I need 7. She's like, well, you know, most people only ask for 5. I was like, listen, I'm not most people, so I need 7 days. Because the problem was, like, my sister's wedding was on a Saturday. So if I just had the 1 week, then I would have to leave the day after my sister's wedding, like at like 4 in the morning, to get to the airport so that I could catch a plane to hopefully be back in Korea by Monday. And I would still need that Monday off. So I was like, no, I need the 5 working days plus Monday and Tuesday. And it was like the biggest ordeal ever. But basically it came down to, I can't stay if I can't go to this wedding. And so she was like, yes. So I was really excited. Like I was counting down the days to this wedding. I was like, I'm so excited to go home. Like I get this extra time off that nobody else gets. Like it's gonna be really great. Like I was making plans with everybody in America, and then the virus happened. So pretty much around the time of the virus happened, when it first started happening in Korea, I was kind of like, why is everybody freaking out about this? Because when it first happened, it didn't seem like that big of a deal. It honestly really just seemed like China's problem. Like everybody was kind of looking at China like, that's your problem. Good luck over there. Don't share your problem with us. And you know, that's really what I thought. I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm so sorry to China. Like that really sucks that they're having to deal with this pandemic. And I felt bad for all the people in China. And like I was watching all the news news sources and things, and I was seeing all the things that was going on, and I was like, oh my goodness, like China's having a rough time out there. But I knew in Korea, like we had only had a few cases, you know, pretty much everywhere else in the world wasn't blowing up crazy. So I really didn't think it was gonna be that big of a deal at first. Then suddenly case 31 happened in Korea, and then things just blew up. So this is around like mid-February or second or third week of February where like stuff just kind of blew up in Korea. So as things are like going kind of higher and higher, I was kind of just looking around like, oh no, this is getting serious. But like we were still going to school and everything, so I was like, oh, maybe, you know, it's not that bad. So like people were asking me like, how are things in Korea? I was like, oh, things are fine. And like I had some friends who had like trips scheduled for like July and stuff. They're like, oh, do you think I'll be able to still come to Korea? I was like, of course. Like, are you like, it's not going to be that big of a deal. And then suddenly it just kept getting higher and higher, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is a big deal. So one of my friends was supposed to have her parents come to visit her at the end of February, beginning of March, and then they canceled their trip. And even then I was like, yeah, like I know like it's getting to be a big deal, but I mean they could have still came in like, you know, for the week or whatever. But then like stuff just went whoop, even like more crazy. So by the end of February, my school had decided that they were going to cancel for at least the end of the week until February. And then from there, the government kept telling them like they need to cancel longer and longer and longer. So I'm sitting here like, oh my goodness. And then I had another friend who was going back to America. She was supposed to leave March 13th. Okay, yeah, she was supposed to leave March 13th. And you know, the time around March 13th is coming up, and she was hanging out at my house for like her last couple days before she went back back to America. And then like the day before her flight was supposed to take off, her dad calls her like, you got to get back to America now. Like they're cutting off like travel and all this other stuff and blah, 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 blah. So pretty much we had to jump out of bed, get to the airport immediately and try to help her get on a flight. But we ended up like they weren't closing off travel from Korea. It was just Italy. And so once we got to the airport, we're like, you know what? You don't need to change your ticket. Just stay in a hotel for the night. You can catch the flight the next day. And as I'm watching all this stuff going on, I was kind of just looking around like, wow, I'm so glad I'm not going home until May, because this will all be calmed down by May. Like I'll be able to go to my sister's wedding, everything will be fine. Like I'm just like, if it was now that I was going home, I'd be having a problem, but obviously this will be solved in the next 2 months. Guys, tell me, was I right about that? Yeah, I can't believe I thought like that. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, so my friend leaves and she gets back to America, and pretty much the day she got back is when everything started like closing. All the states were closed down. She couldn't do anything. And I'm still looking from the other side of the world like, ooh, that looks bad. Ooh, yeah. But at least, you know, in May, things will, you know, figure itself out. Because around this time, I don't know the exact numbers that America had on March 13th, but it wasn't like crazy at that time. But then again, I know the numbers were a lot higher, just there was no way of testing for them at that time. But looking at it from, you know, the news and the articles, it's like, oh yeah, America has like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I was like, okay, like that's normal, you know, it won't get too bad. And I was like, it's okay, I'll still be able to go home in May, like it'll be fine. But yeah, that's not happening anymore because, you know, I'm sure as you guys all know, America just flew up, you know, with all those numbers. And I'm sitting here every day just being like, this is never gonna get better. Like I'm like, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to go home. And so basically, like, once I realized how high the numbers were getting, I pretty much was like, okay, as long as they don't cut off travel from America, it'll be okay. Like, I can still go to my sister's wedding. And like my friend who had went back to America in March, like they didn't quarantine her or anything. Like, so I was like, okay, like I won't be quarantined. Hopefully, like I can go to my sister's wedding and then I can come back into Korea, because at that time they were not quarantining like everybody who traveled into the country. Like if you didn't show symptoms, like you could pretty much just go. But then I don't know exactly the date of when this happened, but then, you know, Korea decided that everybody who was coming into the country had to be quarantined for 2 weeks, no matter what country you were coming from. Like they were gonna quarantine you. And so after that happened, I was like, oh yeah, I definitely can't go to this wedding now, because like I already had to fight my school on giving me like 7 working days off. And I was like, there's no way I'm now gonna be able to get these 7 working days off. Plus when I come back into Korea, I then need to be quarantined for 2 weeks. And quarantining is not a joke in Korea. Like they will track you. So when you arrive at the airport, they put like an app on your phone or whatever that's gonna like track you like everywhere you go. Like they know where you go. If you turn your phone off, they know, they'll call you. If you don't answer, you're gonna be in trouble. And if you think like you can just leave your phone at your apartment and like that's gonna be all fine and dandy, like no, they're gonna call you if you're not like on your phone for a while, and if you don't answer, they're gonna call the police on you. I'm not saying that I wouldn't have followed the quarantine rules anyway. Like if I was gonna go to America, I'd have to follow the rules because I'm not trying to get in trouble. But I'm just like, those rules, like they track you. And if you don't follow the quarantine rules, you're getting deported. Like you can get deported. Like there have been a decent amount of cases of like students coming back from different countries and they're basically like, rules, what are rules? I'm not following those. And they're like, I'm gonna do whatever I want. And they, you know, go around doing whatever they want, and then they get deported to their country. And if you're a Korean person, you can get fined or even jail time. So I'm not trying to do all that. I couldn't deal with it. So after I found out this new information, I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna tell my sister this? Like, I literally didn't know what to do, but like, there was nothing I could do. So then my sister ended up calling me and she's like, hey, we're gonna reschedule our wedding. I was like, oh, thank goodness. That was like music to my ears. She's like, oh, we're thinking of rescheduling it to August. I was like, perfect, like that's fine. So she tells me this around the end of like March or whatever. I was like, okay, yeah, by August, I'm sure things will be fine. But now I'm sitting here watching the cases go up and up and up and up more, and I'm like, yeah, by August, it's not gonna be fine. So I call her again. I'm like, do you know like when you think the wedding's gonna be? And truthfully, like, you can't know when this is gonna go away. Like, I don't really see this going away anytime soon. So she basically was like, yeah, we don't know exactly when we're gonna reschedule it. Like, it's really difficult for us to plan it, but the second we know, we'll let you know. But it might be August, it might be October, like, we don't know. So I was sitting here like, please be October, please be October, please be October. Just anytime later would be better, because I don't see this getting better anytime sooner. So I'm like, the later you push it off, the more of a chance that it'll be easier for me to come. So yeah, so she still doesn't have a date of when she's going to have her wedding or anything, which is understandable. Like, you can't predict the future. Like, nobody knows when this is gonna go away, like if this is gonna go away, if I'm ever going to be able to easily travel between Korea and America again. Like, nobody knows. So yeah, it's a really like unfortunate situation. Like, I am very upset about it. Like, I really wanted to go home. I haven't seen my family since February of 2019. Like, I saw my mom, she came to visit for Chuseok vacation, but like still, like, I haven't seen my family in a while and I really miss them, and I was excited to, you know, go home and see them. But now I'm sitting here like, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to go home easily. Like, I can't go home and then just come back and teach. I don't know when my sister's wedding is gonna be. Like, I had her ticket, like the plane ticket or whatever I bought for the wedding, and I had to cancel it, which I don't even know if I'm getting my money back. Like, I'm hoping, like, I was traveling with Korean Air. So yeah, I think Korean Air is a reliable airline, but I booked with a travel agency like called Cheapo Air, and like they're pretty good too. Like, I have booked through them for almost every trip that I take, so I'm not really worried. Like, I think I'll get the refund, but if I don't get a refund, so the next time I want to book a flight, then I can just use that money. So either way, that would be fine with me. But yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to go home. Like, so we'll see. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It might have been a little long, I'm sorry about that. As you guys know, I just love talking. But yeah, if you guys have any videos that you want me to make, or you have any questions, please just put them in the comment section down below. I have a lot of free time, so I'm really trying to make like bunches of videos. As of right now, it seems like I'm putting out 1, 2, 3 videos a day, and that's great. But as the year goes on, I know I'm gonna start getting more busy, so I feel like I'm gonna have to come up with like a very consistent like filming and posting schedule. So if you guys are like active followers of my channel, you're like, oh yeah, I bet this is great, Brianna's posting a video like every day, sometimes 2, 3 videos a day, and I still always have intentions of doing that. But I know, like, this is just the start of the year. I just had my first week of teaching and it was busy, so I know I'm not always going to be able to post like 1 to 3 videos a day. So my goal is I will at least always try to post at least 2 videos a week, hopefully more, we'll see. So yeah, I have so many like story times to tell. Like, a girl got a lot of story times. I also, you know, I really love making vlogs. I'm not much of a sit down person. Like, I do like to listen to myself talk, but I also think, you know, when I go back and watch videos, I like to watch vlogs. So I like making vlogs more, but I know people want to hear about Korea and things like that. So if you have any video ideas, because I don't just want to constantly do story times, please put them down in the comment section below. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.